Catsuits and Angry Turtles. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury Review.
The Wii U, by far Nintendo's darkest period as a company. Even during the 6th generation with the GameCube that retrospectively has gotten a lot more love, they still stood strong with the support of the GBA. Despite this, as seen with the mass amounts of Wii U ports coming to the Switch, it's not hard to see that there were still good games. But the game I'm reviewing today came out at a bad time. The Wii U wasn't selling well, there was an oversaturation of Mario games, and the next generation offering from Sony and Microsoft were coming out in just under a week. Even though I agree to some degree with articles that say the Switch is a slap in the face to Wii U owners, I support releases like this easily because it gives these games a chance since they were stuck in a bad spot. But this time around they've added something new, and this something was the main reason why I wanted to review this game. Now, the first thing I noticed while playing this game is that in most areas this game doesn't look too much better over the Wii U version. With a side-by-side comparison that I'll link in the description, it looks clearer but certainly isn't enhanced. It looks fine, on par with most AAA releases, not really a major complaint. Of course, the usual composers are here and this soundtrack pops off, and always keeps the energy up while you're playing. Renditions of classic Mario tunes are present to sprinkle in some nostalgia, and this is what you'd expect from a game in this franchise. Gameplay-wise, it controls well, but sometimes it feels like a handful of the deaths are from the classic problem of perspectives of the camera, and more often than not in the sections that require precise movements, I didn't struggle with all too much until I had to start jumping, which led to the occasional death because I didn't know where I was actually going to land. This is pretty infrequent, but never gets less annoying when it did happen. Camera positions were normally placed in the perfect spots, but a few times that wasn't the case. This was my first time playing this game, and my first time playing anything Captain Toad related. I was never interested in this game, but after seeing how well these levels broke up the gameplay, I'm a bit more interested in checking them out now, and I can see why they made this into a full game. This game is full of interesting ideas. Kickable bomb in World 1's castle, bringing back the shoe from Mario 3, this time as more of an ice skate, and the double cherry was a nice addition that changed up the way I played. From how the map is laid out and just the general feeling of quality, this game reminds me of Mario Galaxy. I could easily consider this more in line of a spin-off from that quality line of mainline entries. And I can see a lot of ideas here that would be seen later on in Odyssey, which is the next major game they made after this one, after they took a step back and evaluated the series' saturation problem. The one major complaint is that at times it feels like the game is too easy, or that the major power-up introduced, the Super Bell catsuit, made it very easy to skip over platforming sections. At the same time, I remember that when this first came out, Nintendo were heavily advertising the Wii U to the casual family audience, which might explain why this game seemed very easy and tailor-made to younger players. Now, it's not no death easy, as I did die plenty of times, and if you do try to get all the collectibles in the level and really push the game, it will put up a challenge. However, this is especially true after World 6. The final 2 worlds for this game pretty much say, "Oh, you want to beat the game? Well, good luck, fucker, baby mode is off now. You better know the inside and outs of controlling your character." Other than those last 2 worlds, yes, the game is easy, but unlike Wii U Deluxe, this game is actually fun. While that game was just easy and bored me to tears, and only really started getting good in the last hour, this game is fun throughout. The catsuit may have made skipping platforming sections easy. It also makes the game really fun and gives you a new way to play via climbing up walls. Despite all of this sounding really easy, it is incredibly fun. The story is basic, but at least Princess Peach isn't the one being kidnapped. You still have to rescue some people, but at least they gave a chance on trying something a bit new back then. This is about 8-10 hour long game, and The side content isn't actually really side content, as to actually unlock new levels and the final castle levels in the game, you do have to have a certain number of stars, so the side content ends up being a bit more mandatory, which is fine enough, as I was able to try out levels that I originally avoided and actually had fun discovering these new levels. But I'm going to get into the reason why I wanted to review this game, why I wanted to buy it. When Bowser's Fury was originally revealed, I wasn't really interested in it, as it just looked like a sort of expansion to Wii U World, not really much else. However, after more trailers came out, something clicked. It looked like the new expansion was made in the Odyssey engine, and if there's something more that I wanted, it was more Odyssey-style gameplay. So I was going into this expecting that, but instead, I got something even better. Bowser's Fury feels like an amalgamation of Mario's 3D platforming history, and brings together what made these games great. Of course, they refined the control scheme, and that put no boundaries in between you and controlling the titular plumber. It has a similar scenario to Sunshine, and in fact has quite a lot of callbacks to said game. The boundless creativity within its level designs that has always been consistent with these mainline entries. I can easily say that this game is the first highlight for this year. I just couldn't put it down. Despite only being 3 to 4 hours long, this alone makes the price of admission worth it. Looking at this game graphically, it's obviously made in 3D World's engine, as it doesn't stand anywhere near Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, which I think are the benchmarks for how Nintendo pushes graphics for their system. That's not here, but the soundtrack is still hitting that mark for what you expect, just like in 3D World. However, it doesn't matter how this game looks, because it's a perfect case on how it matters more how fun your game is over how pretty it looks. This game was a blast to play from start to finish. It was an amazing setup for having Bowser Jr. follow you around while you find some way of helping Bowser escape this blind rage caused by a familiar looking black sludge. I don't know why Mario is so reluctant at first. I mean, come on dude, you invite these guys to go-karting all the time, like, seriously. On that topic, I love how you can choose between a little and a lot of help from Junior, and he isn't just some NPC that follows you around. Details like how he laughs whenever you take a hit makes it feel more like you're being followed by Bowser Jr. and not just some NPC that looks like him. From memory, this is probably one of the best setups for a Mario game. The change of having a following third-person camera makes all the difference and feels much better over the base game. And if you're a cat person like me, you'll adore this game even more. Cats are everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere. This island is just cats. All NPCs, hostile or not, have been given a Super Bell makeover, and it's just filled to the brim with cats. I fucking love it. My only real complaints with this expansion is that I wish there was some sort of fast travel like in Odyssey. Maybe you could just ride on Junior's clown car, I don't really know, but it was nice that Plessy was always nearby, so there was some way for you to get around quickly if you needed to, and you would need to whenever there was a Bowser Fury encounter, which was something that happened in intervals, and I think it really kept you on your toes. The other issue is that at times it feels like I was wrestling with the camera during those Fury Bowser encounters, more often than not the ones where you were able to use the Giga Bell and actually fight him. During those times it felt like you were wrestling with the camera because it was more focused on trying to keep on Bowser than where you're actually going. So I went into this game expecting a Wii U Deluxe level of quality base game with maybe a surprisingly well made expansion. After playing it, I can see that it's a great Wii U game that was held back by the disinterest in its platform and releasing less than a week before the 8th generation of gaming started. And it's an expansion that gives us a taste of what's in store for the series and is a great sample of what we should be expecting. If this was just a standard port of 3D World, I would have ranked it around about a 7.8 to an 8.1, But with this expansion that went above and beyond, I'm giving this game a 9.4. And that's the first 9 of the year. I'll definitely be bringing this game up again in future videos, and there's a good chance it may end up being one of the top 10 experiences of the year. Anyway, as of next week, I'll be going on a short break, which unfortunately means that the Persona 5 Strikers video and end of month summary will be delayed, but you already knew that if you've been watching a couple of my videos. Anyway, I'll see you guys around when I steal hearts and change people for the better in Persona 5 Strikers. I'll see you around.